Let's get straight to the point. Number 8, the carb-loading crisis. You're staring at a box of donuts like it's the holy grail, even though you just ate a salad that cost more than your Netflix subscription. Suddenly, you've inhaled 3 glazed rings of shame and you're wondering where your willpower went. Spoiler alert, your willpower didn't stand a chance against your inner caveman. For 99% of human history, calories were harder to find than a polite comment on the internet. If our ancestors stumbled upon a honeycomb or a berry bush, they didn't portion control or save some for later. They ate until they were physically incapable of movement, because tomorrow might bring a famine or a very hungry leopard. Your brain hasn't received the memo that grocery stores exist. It still thinks you're one missed meal away from skeletal remains, so it floods your system with dopamine every time you find high-calorie fuel. It's not a snack, it's a survival strategy. You aren't lacking discipline, you're just incredibly well prepared for a 10,000-year-old food shortage that's never coming.
Number 7, the doom-scrolling addiction. Why do you spend 2 hours reading about global catastrophes when you could be watching literally anything else? You aren't a masochist, you're just a victim of your own outdated threat detection software. Back in the day, knowing about a nice berry bush was a bonus, but knowing about the pack of wolves in the next valley was the difference between life and becoming a prehistoric appetizer. This is what scientists call negativity bias. Your amygdala, the tiny almond-shaped panic button in your brain, is hardwired to prioritize a single threat over 1,000 pieces of good news. To your ancient gray matter, a scary headline or a viral argument is the digital equivalent of a rustle in the tall grass. Your brain thinks that by consuming every terrifying detail, it's gathering intel to keep the tribe safe. In reality, you're just sitting on your couch with rising cortisol levels while your instincts try to protect you from a news cycle they weren't built to handle. You're bracing for a saber-toothed tiger that is actually just a push notification about something you can't even control.
Number 6, the hoarding of shiny trash. You've got a drawer full of tangled cables for phones that haven't existed since the flip phone era, and yet the thought of tossing them makes you sweat. You tell yourself they might be useful, but let's be real, you're just a glorified squirrel in a hoodie. Our ancestors lived in a world where tools were incredibly hard to make. Losing a sharp rock or a sturdy stick wasn't just annoying, it was a logistical nightmare that could lead to a very cold, very hungry death. This gave us an evolutionary possession obsession. To your brain, resources equals security. The more stuff you have piled up, the more prepared you feel for the impending apocalypse. Your ancient hardware can't distinguish between a hand-carved spear and a promotional plastic water bottle you got at a job fair 3 years ago. It just sees resource and screams at you to keep it. This is why cleaning out your garage feels like a high-stakes emotional battle. You aren't a pack rat, you're just an ancient survivor who thinks that a drawer full of dead batteries is the key to outlasting a harsh winter that will never actually arrive. Number 5, the stranger danger social panic. You're at a party where you only know 2 people, and your brain is reacting like you've been dropped behind enemy lines without a map. Your heart is racing, your palms are like sponges, and you're suddenly very interested in the texture of the wallpaper. This isn't just you being awkward, it's your brain freaking out because it thinks you've been exiled from the group. For most of human history, we lived in tight-knit tribes of about 150 people. If you saw a face you didn't recognize, it usually meant a raid was coming, or you were about to be hit with a very heavy club. Evolution taught us that stranger equals potential murderer. Now, when you walk into a room of people you don't know, your amygdala starts screaming, "Threat! Danger! Run!" because it hasn't caught up to the fact that we have things like social etiquette and HR departments. Your body is preparing for a physical fight when all you're actually facing is 5 minutes of small talk about the weather. You aren't socially stunted, you're just carrying around the security protocols of a suspicious caveman who hasn't seen a new face in a decade and is deeply concerned that this stranger might try to steal his favorite fire-starting rock. It's survival, baby.
Number 4, the gossip instinct. You're leaning in to hear the tea about Jerry from accounting like your life depends on it. This isn't you being petty, it's your brain engaging in social grooming. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar argues that gossip is the human version of monkeys picking lice. It was the original social glue.
Historically, knowing who was a lazy hunter was a life or death matter. If you didn't know the drama, you couldn't trust those standing between you and a leopard. Gossip helped map the social landscape and enforce rules without fighting. Now, your brain applies this tactic to celebrity breakups. Your hardware treats a leaked text like vital tribal intel to save you from starvation. You're not a drama seeker, you're a strategist using an ancient manual. To your caveman brain, being out of the loop means being cast out to die. It's prehistoric politics. Your brain thinks a secret is the key to surviving. It's a drive to monitor allies, ensuring you're never left behind. Next time you scroll, remember, you're an ape making sure no one steals your mammoth meat. You're scanning for threats. Number 3. The stage fright meltdown. You're standing in front of 5 people to explain a spreadsheet, and suddenly your throat is drier than a mouthful of sand, and your knees are doing a nervous tap dance. You feel like your heart is trying to beat its way out of your chest. This isn't just shyness, it's your brain's ancient death by staring alarm. For our ancestors, being the center of attention was almost never a good thing. If 30 pairs of eyes were locked onto you, it meant you were either about to be eaten by a predator or you were being judged by tribal elders before being exiled. To your amygdala, a room full of people watching you speak isn't a meeting, it's an ambush. Your body floods with adrenaline, prepping you to either fight the HR manager or sprint away. Your brain hasn't realized that Jeff from sales doesn't actually want to eat your liver, he just wants his lunch. This prehistoric glitch turns a simple speech into a survival event. Your sweat glands go into overdrive because your biology thinks you need to be too slippery for a tiger to grab. Number 2. The tribalism us versus them reflex. You're ready to go to war over which phone brand is better or why your sports team is superior? You feel a surge of heat when someone insults your favorite movie. This isn't you being a fanboy, it's your brain's tribalism filter protecting the group. In the Pleistocene era, being part of a tribe wasn't a choice, it was life insurance. If you weren't in, you were dead. Evolution hardwired us to categorize people into us, the safe tribe, and them, the outsiders. Your brain releases oxytocin when you bond, and cortisol when you encounter a rival. Today, we lack warring clans, so we satisfy this urge by picking sides in debates like Mac versus PC. Your biology treats a TV debate like a territorial dispute because it doesn't know how to handle life without predators. You aren't argumentative, you're an ancient warrior proving loyalty to a digital tribe. Your brain thinks if them wins, us might die. It's a glitchy script that makes you treat a stranger on Reddit like a mortal enemy. You're hardwired to belong, even if the group is just strangers. It's not logic, it is a very old defense. Number 1. The instant gratification glitch. You know you should be saving for retirement or finishing that big project, but instead you're buying a $15 artisanal burrito or watching a 10-hour loop of a raccoon eating grapes. You aren't just lazy, you're a victim of temporal discounting. For our ancestors, the future didn't exist like it does now. If you found fruit, you didn't invest it, you ate it immediately. Because if you didn't, a rival or rot would. In a world where a mammoth could flatten you at any moment, now was the only time that mattered. Your brain evolved to value immediate rewards over distant ones because the future wasn't guaranteed. Now, this instinct makes you skip the gym for a nap or blow your rent on sneakers. Your prefrontal cortex wants a stable future, but your ancient midbrain is screaming, "Eat the cake now because we might be dead by Tuesday." You aren't sabotaging your life, you're just a prehistoric survivor who doesn't trust the concept of next year. Your biology thinks a bird in the hand is worth a whole flock in a 401k it can't see. You're just optimized for a world without credit scores. It's not a lack of discipline, it's your inner caveman making sure you get yours before the leopard arrives. You're living like every day is your last because for millions of years, it was. If your ancient reciprocation instinct is itching, settle the debt by hitting like. Don't fight the herd mentality. Join the tribe by subscribing and sharing. We drop new videos every day to help you debug your prehistoric hardware. Stay cool and see you tomorrow.